Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. Okay, as the plot gets thicker down in Texas, uh, y'all know that a few days ago the Supreme Court agreed with Joe Biden 5-4 and allowed the feds to go in there and cut down all the barbed wire that the Texas National Guard is putting up around the border, right? And you probably know that Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, his response was, fine, cut it down. I'm just going to put up more. That's the thing. The order was, of course, vague. It said they could cut it down, didn't restrict Texas from doing anything else. Like I said, I think it was on a live stream Tuesday night. Hey, Texas, go put landmines out there as far as they're concerned. Okay. Doesn't say they can't do something like that. Texas has a right to protect themselves from invasion. And Greg Abbott has long since declared this an invasion, so Texas is within their legal rights to do whatever they can to protect themselves. Now, this is where it gets a little sticky. When you get to the military, the active duty, we'll just use Army, okay? Just put any active duty, any branch of service. The active duty Army is under control of the federal government. The reserves are under control of the federal government. The National Guard is under control of each individual state. Okay? Well, what you got going on now is the Democrats are trying to, or somehow demanding, that Biden assume control of the Texas National Guard, that he is the ultimate authority, which of course is not true. Okay. Because that's how they plan on thwarting the defense of Texas. So, this is where the plot gets thicker. And this is where we get a future potential balkanization, which we've talked about many times. Okay? Governor Stitt from Oklahoma came out yesterday and said, we stand with Texas. And Governor Stitt is sending National Guard troops to Texas. Sarah Huckabee Sanders from Arkansas sending National Guard troops to Texas. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, sending troops to Texas. This is what you've got. You've got a coalition of Republican governors who are doing what the federal government under Joe Biden has failed to do. And that is to protect the borders of this country. Now you think about it, who's next? All right, you look at a map. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, okay, they're all a little cluster. Well, when's Louisiana get in? When's Mississippi get in? Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. All those states tied together and would tie Texas all the way to Florida. Gee, I don't know. How about South Carolina? Maybe North Carolina. What about Kentucky, Missouri, Kansas? You know, all the way up the Midwest. When these states say, no, we stand with Texas. Remember, Texas has secession on the ballot come November. How far that goes, that's like the first step in a lot of steps. Okay, it's just because they vote for it doesn't mean it happens. But what happens when other states start saying, we stand with Texas, like Oklahoma just came out and said? Because what happens when the feds come in and say, we're going to send troops in to combat the National Guard, for example. Now, mind you this, U.S. military, U.S. active duty troops, U.S. reserve troops, by law, are not allowed to do anything authoritatively, let's use that, on U.S. soil. Right? That's what the National Guard is for. So who's to say that we don't have an issue where, I don't know, the Illinois National Guard under Democrat Governor Pritzker is ordered to, I don't know, confront the Texas National Guard. Can you see this happening? Two sets of troops, both with the U.S. Army tab on their shirt, in conflict? I can't either. Okay? I also don't see a whole lot of support, if you will, from said troops for some totalitarian dictatorship that Joe Biden wants. I mean, we have, pray to God, one more year of this idiot. But how do we solve this southern border? What is it going to turn into? I mean, everything they've done. Let's send people to Chicago, to Denver, to New York, to Boston. What happens? You can't send them here. We can't handle them, right? But Texas is supposed to take them in and go, we can't handle them either, but come on in. We're just going to take them. You know, we've all heard the jokes. Send them to the White House. Hell, they sent them to Kamala Harris in the Naval Observatory, okay, to her house. But where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Where is the logic? Where is the common sense of this? Where is the legality of this? If I'm right, and the reason is that they need more bodies to pay Social Security, where's the legal way of doing this? You go to an embassy, you file your paperwork through the mail or whatever. Oh, but they can't afford it. Not our problem. Okay? Simple as that. If I want to go to pick a country somewhere, and maybe I need a visa to go to that country. Some countries you don't, some countries you do. I don't walk into the country and say, hi, I'm here. Let me stay. No, I have to apply for the visa, whatever it is. As silly as this is, go into Mexico without any documentation and see what they do. Say, hey, I want to live here. Where's your passport? Don't have one. Their answer, get out. We'll put you in jail until we throw you back out across the border. Okay? But for some reason, we don't want the southern border. And kudos to Greg Abbott. Kudos to Governor Stitt. Kudos to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Kudos to Ron DeSantis for at least standing up and doing something. Greg Abbott is showing a hell of a lot of cojones here to stand up to the federal government on this. The problem that we have, and I discussed this the other day, is this is a slippery slope because we have I don't want to say order, but we have a decision from the Supreme Court that says that the FBI can go cut down all this barbed wire. And if Greg Abbott is disobeying the decision by the Supreme Court saying it's unconstitutional, there is nowhere else to take that decision. Okay, Supreme Court's the end. The problem is what happens when California wants to disagree with the Supreme Court decision on, say guns or abortion or whatever. This is a real slippery slope. This takes the authority away from the Supreme Court. And if we are not a country under rule of law, then y'all know that acronym that we use in the prepper community. We're in a country, WROL, and you better get prepped for that. Pinball out.